I know you're proud to be here representing your dad, Ken Reardon Sr. And let's start with a list of accomplishments. Athlete extraordinaire, tennis player at the top of his game from the time he started playing at age 18 until today when he's en route to Turkey to represent Canada in an International Tennis Federation tournament. Started playing tennis at age 18 because he was involved in rowing, paddling, and hockey, and because they didn't have tennis courts at the Northwest Arm Club in Halifax, where he was a member. He reached his first provincial final in doubles 4 years later, won the university tennis singles at Dalhousie in 1951, a provincial singles finalist several times, won numerous provincial and Maritimes doubles titles with David Pearce. In the past 60 years, playing in open singles, mixed and men's doubles, and age group categories, has won hundreds of titles. Played at the Canadians several times as a young man. Re-entered the national scene at age 55 and has won several national indoor and outdoor titles, while regularly being ranked in the top 5 and often number 1 of his age group. He represented Canada at various international events, including the Gordon Trophy versus the U.S., and in International Tennis Federation events in Germany, Austria, Turkey, Spain, Australia, Scotland, England, and Hungary. Since 1992, he has been one of the top-ranked players in the United States Tennis Association's Super Seniors Grand Prix circuit, ranked as high as number 2 in Florida in the over 65 category. He played hockey for both St. Mary's and Dalhousie in the University College League. He won a city high school hockey title with St. Patrick's High and several curling club championships. So there you go. But it is for tennis that this man is being inducted tonight. Here is the respect and regard for Ken Reardon Sr., and here is what a man who played tennis against Ken many times and has seen him play the game for 5 decades has to say.
Well, Ken has been a major factor in the tennis scene in Nova Scotia for at least 54 years. I remember as far back as 1954, he was in the finals of the singles in the province, in the Open. He has represented Canada in various age groups. He's won Canadian titles as he's moved from one age group to another. I think he now looks forward to moving into the 80s, where there'll be some new meat to battle, and eventually the 85s. Old tennis players kind of like to move on like that. To make it clear, I'm not worthy to tie his tennis sneaker.
Nice comments there. As he continues to move along, you know, Ken started playing senior international tennis seriously in 1982 when he was 55 years old.
My first international tournament, and probably one of my main wins, I suppose, to get there, I was 55. I won the national that year, and we went to Austria, I believe. I was captain of the team. Since then, actually, I've been maybe with 1 or 2 abstentions. I've been on one of the teams.
Back to Regan for a moment, who says that Reardon's main strength in his game is his almost unmatched tenacity.
You'll often see that Ken goes against a tough player, loses the first set, and bounces right back to win the match. That is a terrific trait. He has a good serve, moves well, comes in when he should. He's got a good all-round game. Ken has always had a lot of smarts on the tennis court, but he hit from early times with great velocity. And if you're on the other side of the net, I want to tell you, he's still hitting with a lot of velocity.
Ken admits he lost in the first round of the first tournament he entered 61 years ago. Since then, he says, I've played virtually every year. Success didn't come easily, though, but I loved the game and went to tournaments all over the province. Within a year, he was playing what he calls fairly well and had a reasonable amount of success. What he doesn't say is that he was making the semifinals and occasional finals in just his second year of playing.
I was a bit of an erratic player. I could play very well at times, and other times my mind would wander and my shots along with it.
It's brutally honest, isn't it? Robert Cunningham, a junior who faced Ken many times when Ken was in his 20s and older, says, quote, Ken had a weird sense of humor. He always seemed to be chuckling while the game was going on. Robert recalls Ken matching with Dave Peers in doubles. This is a quote. When I was 16 or 17 and was playing with Dave Woodworth, we played Peers and Reardon in the Eastern Canadian Championships. Peers was about 23 and Ken was 30, and they were good. He says he and Woodworth lost 10-8 in the fifth set. And he says that was unheard of, young juniors taking those guys to 5 sets. Ken was a partner and occasional opponent of tennis great David Pearce.
In my earlier years, I was driven to attempt to beat one David Pearce, and he was winning pretty well all of the junior, and when he moved into senior, he was doing extremely well. I played David in many finals and always succumbed to him. I was never a player who concentrated as well as he should. But David was an excellent player and very difficult, and still is. And I still hope to beat him.
Your dad's got to work on that mental game, huh? At age 80. Robert Cunningham adds, quote, Ken was very quick on his feet. He has always had sound fundamentals. At almost 80, he still moves not too badly. People don't believe his age when they see him play.
I love the game of tennis. I know so many people playing in it, and they're all good friends. They, like I, are more or less my age. I play with some people that are younger. But we all have a good time, and whenever we meet, whether it's here in Nova Scotia or Toronto or in a world championship, we have enjoyable times.
Jerry Regan has something else here to say about his longtime opponent, Ken Reardon.
Ken has always been a social and very, very popular person. He mixes very well with people, and he enjoys the social life, but never as a detriment to his tennis. I think he can come out after 2 hours sleep and play top flight.